Hey friends, it's Awkwardly Random with Cynthia and Michelle, where we talk about random topics.
Anything and everything awkward is on the table, so let's dive right in.
Hi y'all.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to our third episode of Awkwardly Random with Cynthia and Michelle 2022.
I was like, third? That's not our third.
Our third episode of the year.
Yes.
Actually, I don't even know what number this is. I lost track.
Yeah, I think it is the third. I think you're right.
No, I mean like in total.
Oh yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Track. I want to do something for our 50th episode or something.
I'm excited. Watch, we already passed it.
I know, right? Okay,
51.
We'll have to check if anybody knows. I'll check.
It's okay.
We'll have to check. Y'all, we're
so excited.
Yes, this is a special episode. We have a guest. For those that are joining us through video, you can see that I'm next to somebody right here. For those joining through audio, someone is sitting right next to me.
Yeah, just imagine.
Yeah, just picture it.
Yeah.
So I want to introduce y'all to Jasmine. She is my partner, and actually I haven't shared this with a lot of people. And I don't want to make like a huge announcement out of it, but I know that in previous episodes I've verbally identified as straight, and I've gone through this like internal acceptance of myself. And so yeah, I don't know what I would label myself as necessarily. But I'm really happy with being with Jasmine, and I'm really grateful that you're here. So welcome, Jasmine.
Cute. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jasmine. I go by the pronouns she, her, ella, if you're speaking to me in Spanish.
That's important.
And I love dogs. That's all that really matters in my life.
Nice.
Tell people how many dogs you have.
Oh, I currently have 2, but one is like 5 dogs. So yeah. If you know, you know.
Cute. I'm a dog lover too.
Yes, our dogs should have a play date one day.
They should. It would be hilarious to watch.
It's so funny because oh, go ahead.
Mia's full of energy, so it'd be interesting to see her. I always like seeing her interact with just different dogs. She's funny.
And Mia's really small.
Yeah, but she's feisty. She's like a sassy small dog.
Yeah,
like it can be a lot sometimes, but
yeah,
I think it'd be fun for them to meet.
Yeah, we'll have to make it happen. You got to come to Chicago and bring your dog.
I know.
Or we'll
make it happen.
Let's go to.
We'll go to New
York.
Come
to New York, please, please. I'm begging you. No, it was definitely fun. Definitely come. It's a lot of fun. But yes, welcome. We're so happy to have you here.
Yes.
And we're excited for this episode. We're really gonna dig in and talk about relationships. We got a lot of good questions, juicy questions, I think. But first we're gonna go with our awkwardly random question, which is, what is a skill that you'd like to learn really well? Jasmine, do you want to go first?
Yeah. A skill that I'd like. Does it have to be like realistic skill, or
it could be whatever? Okay. Anything. The possibilities are endless here.
Exactly. Use your imagination.
Okay. Well, a skill that I would really like to learn is how to sing. I love music, but I'm a horrible singer. So if I could sing, that would be something that I would want to work on and possibly make a profession out of, but I can barely hold a tune. So
Ed Sheeran said that he started off not knowing how to sing at all, and there's videos of him as like a little kid singing, or like a teenager, and it wasn't the greatest, and look at him now. So you can train yourself to, you can train your vocal cords for sure.
Fun fact, I do actually watch a lot of vocal coaches on YouTube.
Ooh.
I just love, I don't know, I feel like I want to be one of their students.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try,
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool.
Maybe one day. We'll see.
You can make it happen. What about you, Michelle? What's something that you'd like to learn?
A skill. I just would want to be able, I don't know if this is a skill, but I would want to be able to pick up languages really easily.
That's cool.
Like just any type of language. I just would want to be as multilingual as I can. One thing that I am trying to do is when I was younger, we used to get taught ASL when I went to school in California. And I remember a couple things. I don't know why we were taught some ASL in California. It was strange. I don't actually remember, but I remember certain signs. And then like a couple years back, I started like just watching YouTube videos also on ASL because when I was working at a retail store part-time, there was someone who couldn't hear. So in order to communicate with them, they would teach me some signs, some sign language. And so from there, I got like the interest of like, hey, like, why don't I like, this would be a really useful language or skill to like know. So I would want to expand that to other languages. So yeah, I don't think I'd ever be multilingual for sure, but it would be kind of cool.
Did you pick up on some Italian when you were in Italy?
Yeah, but very little. I don't know any anymore. Like over there was easier because you were like immersed in it, and like I would pick up certain things that people would say and like just like some of the way that you would pronounce certain words. Like when you get taught it, it's very different than when you're like there and people pronounce it differently, you know what I mean? Like grazie, it's not really grazie, it's like grazie or something like that. Like the accent was a little different in person.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, you could study languages, Mish, and travel and vlog it, and
that's my dream.
Make it a thing, make it happen.
I know, that would be cool. We'll see. I don't know.
Awkwardly Random goes global. We could do that.
That would be cool. Ooh, I'm down. I know. En español primero.
Yeah, right.
We are gonna say we're gonna do an episode in Spanish, and we never have. Maybe one day.
In Spanish or in Spanglish?
We could do both. Spanglish.
So we say Spanish, but I feel like it's gonna be more Spanglish.
Yeah, I would say so. But I think maybe we should like dedicate one to just Spanish.
Yeah.
Even if it's like todo mochado.
Yeah, we'll just try it. Do our best.
We'll just try. Yeah. What about you, Beans? What's one skill that you would like to learn really well?
So it'd probably be something musical, something music related. I really like the guitar. So I'd probably want to learn the guitar or the ukulele.
This would be perfect. I learn how to sing.
Yeah.
And you can do the instrument.
For real. Then you'll be a band, a two-person band.
A duet, a duo.
Yeah, a duo.
Or the accordion. The accordion is such a cool instrument.
Yeah.
And it's so underrated.
Unique.
Yeah.
And the skill and the coordination you need to have to be able to play it and make it sound good, like that, it takes skill. So that's another one I would love to learn, but accordions are expensive, so I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'd probably need somebody to teach me. I think that one would be hard to watch videos and learn, at least for me. So I don't know, something musical. But I like the language one. Mish. That'd be cool. Pick up. I forgot all the French that I learned in school. I do remember some Portuguese. I can hold conversation. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, me too.
Okay, pues.
So lame. We never we offered Spanish to mostly Spanish speakers. Like that's the only language we had in high school. I'm like, come on, all of us speak Spanish.
Yeah, I should have taken Spanish.
I took a Spanish for Spanish speakers class in like 8th grade. That's how I learned how to read.
Yeah,
in Spanish.
Interesting. Nice.
Okay. Let's get to the conversation of the day, y'all.
Ooh.
This is gonna be juicy.
All right. Relationships.
Oh my gosh.
Dun dun dun.
And in this sense,
about in the past.
in this sense, we're we talk about like friendship relationships.
Yeah,
but
we
this
haven't gotten
right
deep.
now, we're focusing on romantic relationships.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to start off by asking y'all, what do you think, or what do you feel or think when you hear people say relationship goals towards a couple? Or like, because I've been seeing this on social media. They do hashtag goals, hashtag relationship goals, right? When a couple posts a picture of them like traveling or I don't know, doing all these things together.
Yeah.
Have you ever said that? Because I know I have in the past. And what do you think about that when people say that? I don't know. What do y'all think?
So I can admit that I used to do this initially with, I used to do that, and about my relationship with Jesus. And I think I only did it once, and then it was kind of cringy afterwards.
Wait, you did it
when I actually thought
about your relationship with Jesus?
Yeah, I remember, because this was when it was like, I remember first hearing about it when they were talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce, but this was a while back. This was like about like 8 years ago, 7 years ago. Like it's been a while when this happened. So that's when I first used it. But then I actually thought about it more, and it can be problematic. But I understand the intention behind it. You want to be known as this healthy couple who like are thriving in their lives and like love each other, and that makes sense. But at the same time, like I feel like when we use it, when we've seen it used, we mostly see, like you're right, on celebrities, or like people with like are on vacation or look a certain way or have a certain lifestyle. And that's when we mostly see it. And that's when I think that it can be problematic, because we're putting these relationships like on a pedestal, comparing them to other relationships that don't necessarily look like that. And it also says a lot about like what we're valuing in a relationship. Like if you see people who look a certain way and have a certain lifestyle, then you're kind of putting that above everything else. So part of it is that, but then at the same time, like what makes a great relationship isn't necessarily the vacations and when you look all happy, because there's a lot of things that happen behind, Instagram or social media. So I just think it doesn't put an accurate perception of like maybe what a strong relationship actually looks like. It's just more superficial. And I understand why people want to put their best image of their relationship on social media. Obviously we're not all going to talk about like the negative stuff, but I understand the intention, but I think it's cringy now, and I think it's problematic, and I think that's why I don't do it anymore. But I can admit that I used to do it.
I really like your explanation and like your what you think about like relationship goals, because that actually is how I think about them too right now. Like I used to be part of a pyramid scheme, and we were all about, oh, you have to have a power couple, and you have to fake it till you make it, and you have to like always, they were like, oh, like if your person, like your partner, isn't like doing all these things for you, then they're not a good partner, but it was all like superficial and social media and things like that, and they were very heavy on social media, which is why I really don't have social media anymore, because that really just hindered my relationship, well, my old relationships, and I realized that that's not a value. So like being a relationship goal, I feel like I want to be a relationship goal for myself. I don't want to look at other people and be like, oh, that's a relationship goal. Like, no, if it must be not, like, how we say, oh, must be nice. You're going on vacation, you're doing this, doing that. And that means that that's for you too, or like you see relationship goals and you're like, oh, they're so cute together, blah, blah. Like you can have that too. And it can be as genuine as you want it to be. So I feel like relationship goals is very, like you said, superficial. And it's not something it's all like about showing your best face. Like you said, it's not, to me, a relationship goal doesn't really exist, because every relationship is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't
Great way to
think,
put it.
yeah, that's a really good way to put it. I don't think there's a problem necessarily in celebrating that a couple does something fun together. Like it's cool,
Yeah.
to see that stuff too. But just to be careful not to set that as a standard for what a relationship should be or look like.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
what if you can't afford it either?
Right.
Right.
Does that mean that you love each other less because you don't have the financial means to do all those luxurious things you see on Instagram?
Or what if you as a
Yeah.
couple are not even interested in doing that kind of stuff? Like you'd rather just be at home watching TV, like
quarantine.
Yeah. Or just taking a walk outside, like
Yeah.
whatever. So
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with what y'all are both saying. I think it sets a certain standard that everybody is expected to meet, but is unrealistic. And it kind of disregards everything behind that surface level, right? That relationships take work. So yeah. And they do, right? Like not everything is sunshine and rainbows. Not I mean, at least not from what I've experienced and from what I know to be a relationship.
Yeah,
These things take work because you're two different people and you have to figure out how to go through life together as two individuals with different interests, different perspectives, different ways of doing things. If you hear a sound in the back, it's one of the doggies chewing on a bone, by the way.
Nice.
We gotta
go ahead and eat your bone. Yeah, for sure. It's okay.
So with that, what is it like? Michelle, you've been in a relationship for a long time. We've already talked about this a few times, but you've been with Jesus for some time now, a hot minute.
95% of your life.
We started dating in April of 2013. So that would be 8 years. 9 years this year. Yeah, 9 years this year.
And how old are you? You're 29?
29, yeah. So I think, how old was I?
29. That's like 40% of your life, I think.
You're
21? My 20s, yeah, my 20s. We grew up together.
Right, exactly. So what is that like, Mish, to, like being with somebody for this long? What have you learned from that, or what has it been like for you? I've never been in a relationship that long, so
yeah, me neither.
What is that like? What's it like to be in that relationship?
I think it's great, but at the same time, like, I can't lie, it has been hard because I mean, we've been together for so long, right? So we have basically grown together. And the great thing about it is that we've been able to grow together and be our own people, but at the same time, like, not drift apart.
Right.
So that's what I'm really grateful because for that. But in general, like you said, I think that there comes times where like life really tests you and as a couple, and life, there's ups and there's downs in terms of like things that happen to yourself. And sometimes you especially when we've been together for so long, we kind of know each other. Like he knows me really well. Like I feel like sometimes he can just look at me and he knows like what's wrong with me. He knows what I'm thinking, or like in general, just because we've been together for so long. And I feel like it's the same for me with him. And then we also know, because we've known each other for so long, we also know like what triggers each other, like what can annoy us, what can make us angry, what can make us sad, what can make us happy. So I think you just really get to know someone if you've been together for this long, which is it's a good thing, I think, especially if it's working out, Did I answer your question?
Yeah. No, because I always wonder, for people that have been together for so long, for a very long, for, many years, or for very formative years of someone's development, which for you was your 20s.
Yeah.
Right? So you're still learning about yourself. You're still figuring out what you want to do. You're pursuing your goals while sharing a life with somebody else who is also pursuing their own goals and doing their own things. But you stated that like that y'all got to know each other really well, and you each know what triggers one another. Is that what you feel makes a relationship thrive? is like really knowing each other very well? At least from your
this
experience
is
or your perspective, you know, because it's
I
I don't know if there's like a right or wrong answer to this.
I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think I really like what Jasmine said when she said that every relationship is different. So like
Yeah.
my needs and what I want as a partner can be different than what y'all want. You know what I mean? Or what you all need in the partnership. So I think with us being together for this long, we know like what kind of partnership we are. And also I have to say that like we were in a long distance relationship while I would when we first met until I went to law school. So this was like how long ago? 2017 when we actually started living together. So before then, 2013 to 2017, we were long distance. So that also played a part in strengthening our relationship because especially being long distance, we were able to work towards our goals, but also work towards building some sort of life together because we knew that's what we wanted. So it's very different than most people that you hear of when they've been together because they've been together from the very start. You know what I mean? And ours is a little different because we were long distance for a long time and then we like came together and started living together. So from 2017 to now that's the time that we've been living together. But back to your question, like I think that what makes a relationship thrive is setting expectations, setting boundaries, and being there for one another. I think at the end of the day, like a relationship is being there for someone, you know, like whatever they need. And if you can't be there, like you can also make that known and they should be able to understand that like temporarily maybe right now you just can't meet those expectations but that they're going to be there still, you know. I don't know, that's what I think. I'm not a relationship expert. I'm not a psychologist.
I was honestly just curious because y'all have been together for a long time. You know, this is the longest relationship I've ever had, you know, and it's not even a year yet. It's like 8 months or something.
Almost.
Yeah.
But what do y'all think? I mean, obviously, you know, you're in a relationship now, but you've had relationships before. Like, what do you think makes a relationship thrive?
Yeah.
Maybe for yourselves or in
Michelle,
general.
I have a question that I really want to ask you. And it just popped in my head. So I don't know. I can't even remember what show, but I used to watch reality shows back in the day. And it was like a hairstyle show or whatever. And this one girl was doing this hairstyle of an old woman, and she was married for 50 something years. And the hairstylist was like, what makes a relationship work? And she's like, it's just dumb luck. She's like, you find the right person at the right time and you're with them and they just work. And she's like, it's just dumb luck. And granted, she's from New Jersey, so I guess that's how they talk. But do you feel like it's just dumb luck? Like you were just lucky to find Jesus at the right moment at the right time?
Interesting.
Or do you feel like it wasn't luck? Like it's not luck, it's super, super hard work? Or do you think it's a combination of both?
I think it's a combination of both because honestly, we met through an organization in undergrad. So there could have been many instances where, you know, when I was looking at colleges, I didn't know if that's the college I wanted to go to. Like I was looking at other colleges. So like maybe I could have gone somewhere else. Maybe I could have never met him. And if I didn't join that organization that I was a part of, then I probably wouldn't have met him. Or even with him, like I've spoken to him, like when we met, it was super unexpected. We had both just gotten out of relationships, each of us. So we weren't looking for anybody. It was just more like, we're going to this conference with our own like chapters and we just happened to meet and we became really good friends. So like, if we wouldn't have gone to that conference, like we would have never met, you know?
Wow.
So I do think it has to do with like either luck or timing, I don't know, but the universe somehow made it happen. And then after that, that's when we actively decided to, like, at first when we met, we didn't we're like, oh, let's start dating. It was more like, oh, like we developed a friendship, we started talking, and then we kind of fell off for like 2 weeks, and then I reached out back to him, and then we started talking again, and then didn't actually start dating till April. So we met in February of 2013 and didn't actually make it official till April. So it took some time for us to like work towards that, because obviously long distance, and you have to put in the work. I think more work when you're in long distance versus like if you're there in person. It's a lot easier. So I think for me, in my case, it was both.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to know what you thought.
Well, what did you think when you heard that, when you saw that on the TV show?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Oh, I think I was single as a Pringle at that point in my life. But I was like, wow, like, I guess it's dumb luck. Like, you know, I didn't understand what the hell she was. I was like, what do you mean dumb luck? What does that mean?
Like just chance? Like just
like, but
no control.
And she never really explained it, or maybe she did, but like in the show, they just cut off what she was saying. But
yeah,
I feel like, yeah, okay. Now that I think about it, now that I'm older, I'm like, it's dumb luck. Like, it's dumb luck that we met.
So we haven't shared how we met.
Yeah, how did you meet?
So we actually met on Bumble.
BFF.
No,
wait, no,
it wasn't BFF.
Oh, never mind.
She thought it was BFF in the beginning.
Never mind.
You got so confused with which app you were on.
Clearly, I'm so confused.
I was like, no, we were not on Bumble BFF. Okay, so we were on the regular Bumble.
So what does that mean? Happened. Okay, can you explain what that means?
Okay, so there's regular Bumble that's for dating, and there's Bumble BFF for meeting friends.
Okay.
Right. I used Bumble BFF when I first moved here as a way to just kind of like meet locals, meet other people, build more of a circle here in Chicago, because I was brand new here, even though I already knew some people. But I wanted to kind of expand a little bit my social network and meet new people. So I have used the Bumble BFF, but when I met her, it was through the regular Bumble, not the Bumble BFF.
Yeah.
And she got confused in the beginning. There was a mix up because she thought we were on Bumble BFF. And I looked and I'm like, just to double check. And I'm like, no, I don't think it is. But I checked and it wasn't. It was a regular Bumble. I was like, oh my God, did I confuse it too? Because it doesn't really tell you. It has the BFF, but in really tiny letters. So it doesn't look any different. You know, it looks the same. Okay. So it can be kind of confusing and you're like swiping on people. So we met. So I messaged her. I was like, hey, I like your paintings, because she had pictures of her. She likes to paint. And so she had pictures of her paintings and I thought they were cool. And then she's like, oh, cool. Have you ever done a sip and paint? And then like after that, we haven't stopped talking since.
Literally.
But it started very friendly, very platonic. Very much just like, oh, what do you like to do? Oh, do you listen to podcasts? And I'm like, yeah, I actually have a podcast. I do a podcast.
Oh, nice.
Then she started listening and supporting ever since then. And like, I don't know, we just shared interests and hung out and stuff like that. And then it kind of evolved into something more. But yeah, similar to you, Michelle, we kind of started off just as friends, just hanging out as friends.
Yeah. So maybe it is dumb luck, like unexpected, like you meet someone unexpectedly. At least that's what happened for me. And it sounds like that's what happened for y'all.
Yeah. And what's really, I feel, a version of dumb luck is her cousin / roommate is my sorority sister. And
wow.
I met her cousin back in 2017. And we literally have a picture of us together.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow. And I didn't even know who she was. Like, and then what is it? 4 years later, the universe like brought us all together. And I think in 2017, you had just moved to Chicago.
2018.
So she was not even here yet. And, you know, the universe just brought us all together because it was like, okay, y'all missed the first time. So come back around.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Cool.
It's so funny. Yeah, like you told me
cool
what sorority you were in. It is cool. Like she told me what sorority she was in. I'm like, wait a minute. I think that's Rebe. That's the one that Rebe's in. And then I told Rebe about Jasmine. And she's like, no, I don't think I've met her. And then I told Jasmine about Rebe. And she's like, no, I don't think I've met her before. And then they met in person. Like, oh, nice to meet you. But then like, you know, up comes this picture of them sitting next to each other. So that, you know, y'all have met, but you know. You didn't remember.
That's awesome.
Anyway, that's a cool story. Yeah. So yeah, I think the luck part, the chance part is how we met, how we came across, crossed our paths. But I think the rest of it was effort, reaching out to each other, making time to talk, making time to hang out, learning about one another. What do you like to do? What are your interests? She really loves podcasts, and especially murder podcasts.
True crime.
Nice.
She loves dogs, and I'm not a huge dog person, and so like you start to learn these things about one another, and that takes work. I don't think I think it can be, but I don't feel like it's more of like effort and that's where the work really comes in. Yeah, intention, right? Intention, purpose.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So that's what you think makes a relationship thrive is effort, intention, and work.
Yes. I'm like, did we even answer the question?
Great summary after a 10-minute explanation.
No, it was great. I enjoyed it. I'm sure our audience is enjoying it too.
Accurate.
I know. So the next question that we have is love enough to sustain a relationship? Yes or no? Or do you want to explain?
Well, so I had this question because a lot of people say, and we've talked about this, Michelle, you and I, like without recording this, that, people will say, I will love you unconditionally no matter what. And while that sounds beautiful and all, I don't know if that's realistic, because there are some things that me personally, I would not tolerate, abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, cheating, like things like that,
infidelity, trust issues.
Manipulation. I was thinking of an M word, manipulation.
Robbing me of my money.
Yeah, that's my money.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like extortion.
Extortion, all of that shit. But you know what? That happens. People go through that. So, and when you tell that person, I will love you no matter what, I'm going to stay with you no matter what, even through all of that, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't. And so that's why I wanted to ask you what you think about that. Is love enough? What do you think when people say that? Have you been told that? Have you said that to somebody? What does that mean to you? What do those words mean to you?
Love isn't enough for me. Because I feel like when you love someone, you can love someone with all your heart, but at the end of the day, like, personally, my family has a history of child abuse and child molestation. Like, if to me, I don't care how much I love my partner, if that person does something to a little child, I'm out. Like, of course my heart is broken, and I love you with all my heart, but you did that, and I don't feel like that, like whatever you did, some things just can't be forgiven, in the sense of a like relationship, right? And then you can never trust them again. And I don't feel love is enough either, because if, like how you were saying, love someone unconditionally, that can be super toxic. Like if it's like a form of manipulation, right? Like, I love you so much, and then they're over here like abusing you, manipulating you, doing all these things to you, and you're like, well, I love you no matter what. And it's kind of like you're their punching bag. And I don't think that's fair. And if they really love you, they wouldn't do that. So love, obvious. I feel like love has different definitions, and because of that, love isn't enough.
What do you think, Mish?
Nice. I agree with you. I agree. I definitely agree. I don't think love is enough. Obviously, you should have love in your relationship, but I don't think that it is enough. And just personally, with my experience with coming from divorced parents, knowing that they've loved each other, but knowing that their relationship wasn't a healthy one, and choosing to part ways, I think that is okay. I don't think that love is enough to make or sustain a relationship, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. I think it's not easy to come to terms with that, but at the end of the day, like, you should really look out for yourself too. If you see that like the relationship isn't serving you, and willing to go through stuff like really abusive stuff or harmful things is not enough. Like, love shouldn't be the reason why you stay.
Can you still
it can
love
be
the
hard.
person? Can you let them go and still love them?
I think so. I mean, it's an emotion, but
Yeah.
you're choosing yourself over that.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, you'll heal, you'll change, like, you'll get over it, you know.
Mhm.
It takes time.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like, well, who was that song? I Will Survive.
Yeah. I will survive.
I don't know who sang that
This
song.
girl thinks in songs.
I don't know, but it's I don't know who sings it.
Selena sings it. You know, in her.
She does sing it. Yeah, her
Yeah.
tribute.
rendition of it.
Yeah, rendition. Yeah.
And another thing I wanted to ask y'all. I have so many questions about this topic.
Mhm.
I think
because
questions are
I'm-
never ending, to be honest, with
Yeah.
relationships.
Yeah.
If you run out of
And
questions, then why you?
And it can't.
True.
Yeah. And I think so many people have so many different opinions and answers, so it's always good too.
So, we talk about love not being enough to sustain a relationship and things that people do within a relationship, but what about things that your partner has done in their past? Are you able to overlook that if you learn certain things? What if you learn about it when you're deep in the relationship? If there's something that you feel like that they did or they've gone through that might be, I don't know, hard for you to process or get your head around. What do you do? What do you think?
I feel like it depends on what it is.
Yeah,
like, for
that's
instance,
what I was gonna
like,
say.
Okay, if you cheated on that person, I want to know why. Like, I want to know what the hell was going on in that whole relationship. Like, why would you feel the need to cheat on that person? And like, sometimes it's because, like, it's just a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
And that's not that. Even though that relationship was toxic, doesn't mean this relationship, your current relationship, is toxic. So I feel like it just depends what they're doing and what it is that they did in the past. Like, if it's murder or something, let's talk.
For real.
we gotta talk about that.
That is a no for me.
Like, who'd you murder? Why'd you murder them? Let's talk about it.
So if it's murder,
but you never know, right? I don't know.
Oh hell no. That was out real quick.
I'm just saying.
No,
that's true though.
I agree. No,
Everybody
I
got a
definitely
pass.
agree. Yeah,
I'll
I
have a
think.
pass.
Oh my gosh. Okay, can you overlook anything in your partner's past? Okay, yeah, I think it depends on what it is. It depends on like the severity of what it is. Like, fuck, like murder, fuck no, I cannot overlook that. But it, like, say, like, obviously when if you date someone, they've obviously had like a dating history and all this other stuff. With that kind of thing, I can definitely overlook. I would just need to know like what happened, like just how Jasmine was saying, like, who did you date? How long did you date? What happened? And just try to see like how they respond to certain questions. And definitely I expect to share the same things with my partner, so just to have everything out in the open so everybody is aware and comfortable with moving forward. That's just basically it. But yeah, I guess it depends for me.
If they've cheated in the past, could you, like, if you tell yourself they're not going to cheat on me, because there's no guarantee, right? With that, I don't know. I feel like that would be something that I would be thinking about quite a bit.
Same.
You've cheated on this. If you've cheated before, who's to say you wouldn't do it again? Regardless, I guess, of what the circumstances were when you cheated. Yeah. I don't know. All of this makes me just realize just how much it takes to be with somebody, right? To share life with somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, but at the same time, I don't think you can hold them to who they used to be.
Right. And that's another thing too.
Assuming that they've grown, right?
Assuming that they've grown.
Absolutely.
And if you're choosing to be in a relationship with this person, you can't. I don't think it's okay for you to bring up what happened. Like, if this person shares something with you like this, and they've talked about how they've grown and they're not that person, and maybe there's like a trust issue, I think it's really toxic to bring up like, well, you did it with this person. Like, that would be terrible. and a form of manipulation, in my opinion. So I
And
think
it means
if
there's
someone,
no trust.
yeah, so I feel like if someone does decide to date someone who has a certain past and has maybe done questionable things, you cannot hold them to what they've done before, in my opinion.
Speak facts, Mish.
Snap, snap, girl.
Thank. I would have been like, well, you knew. I told you.
Yeah, that would be just a big ass back and forth.
Yeah, pretty much. It does not sound fun.
Nope.
Is it appropriate to look through your partner's phone without their knowledge?
Whoa.
Juicy.
And have
What
you
do you
done
mean?
it?
What do you mean by appropriate?
Like, is it all right? Like, is it okay to look through your man's phone?
Yeah.
Without them knowing that you're looking through their phone, trying to find something or like suspecting.
Oh, like
something.
snooping.
Yeah, snooping.
Ooh.
Like, not if it's like, oh, do they have a gift for me and I want to find out? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
or just like,
yeah, like, if you want to see who they're talking to, what they're saying, are they really truthful? Like, is that okay?
That would be a sign of you feeling doubts, right? Of you having suspicions. If you were to do that, right? Like, there's already some sort of. I
think it depends on the person.
I feel like if I'm gonna be looking through your phone to snoop for messages, if you're talking to somebody else,
that is a sign of mistrust. Yeah,
in a romantic way, right? And I'm feeling some type of way about it, and I'm looking through your phone, I'm mistrusting you, right? And I'm having suspicions and I'm having doubts, and instead of talking to you about it, I'm looking through your phone. You know. So I feel like the more appropriate way to do it, and again, it depends on every relationship, and I know there's different relationships and couples where it can be really hard to talk, to have conflict and confrontation, and it can lead to some sort of physical confrontation, and there's a lot of fear around that kind of stuff too. So I just want to be mindful of that. But like, I feel like I would prefer to talk to you about it and ask you up front, or have you ask me up front if you're having doubts or issues or concerns, versus like snooping through the phone.
Yeah. Have you done it?
I've never done it. Have you
done it, Jasmine?
Oh, fuck yeah.
I've done it too. I've done it too, and I am not ashamed to admit it.
Wait, you've done it too, Misha? I never knew this.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like everybody, no, maybe not you, Beans, but everybody else I know has done it.
It's because she's so innocent.
Well, I also haven't had very many relationships, so.
Oh, okay. I know a lot of people have done it. I've talked to this with my sisters and my other friends. Sisters? Like, everybody I've talked to has done it.
Okay, hold on. Tell me about this though. Like, give me more.
I feel I don't do it to Cynthia, and I can openly say that I've never looked through her phone because I don't have any doubts with her, and I don't suspect anything. But in my past relationships, I have suspected some things, and it's always from my experience, right? I always look through their phone because I was doing something shady. And I was like, I'm doing something shady. Of course they're doing something shady. You know what I mean? Like, I've never cheated, but I've been on breaks, and you've been on breaks, you talk to somebody and you don't tell that person that you were talking to another person. So I'm like, I did that. How do I know you didn't do that? So it's kind of like that. And when I talk to like my sisters and stuff, she's been in a relationship for 14 years, and she openly admits that she checks her man's phone. But she's like, I just want to make sure that he's not talking to anybody, because back when we were in high school, granted, she's like 30, but she's like, back when we were in high school, there was all these girls all over him. So she still has that little bit of insecurity with that. And I'm like, okay, well, that's y'all relationship. Like, y'all been making it work for 14 years. So it is what it is. But I personally, I don't want to do that ever to Cynthia. That's not something that I want to do. I feel like that's a form of toxicity and a form of like, if you go looking for something, you're gonna find something, whether or not it's malicious. Like, if you're gonna, like, let's say I look through her phone to see something, right? And then I read a text and it has nothing to do with what I'm thinking it has something to do with. but because I'm looking for something, I'm going to find it.
Like you're gonna perceive it as something that it really isn't.
Because my mind's already in that mindset.
Interesting.
So that's how I feel, and at least that's from my past. So I don't really want to do that with this beautiful relationship that I have, and I don't want to add that seed of doubt into it.
I like. That's interesting that you say that. I think, and I'm very similar in my conversations with the people who have done it and with people who are still in relationships and do that type of thing. Because I was saying, I was talking to my sisters about it, and they were telling me that they check through their partner's phones, or maybe I shouldn't say that. I don't know if their partners listen to this. I doubt it. But they do it, but they're like, there shouldn't be an issue with me like looking through someone's phone. Like they're like, I know I'm not going to find anything and it should be fine. You know what I mean? So that's where they're coming from.
That makes
personally sense. And for them, they don't see it as a sign of mistrust. They're just like, we're in a relationship together, and we're sharing our lives, so whatever's on my phone should not be a problem, and you shouldn't be able to find anything in the first place. So that's how they see it. But I definitely see the other part of like how there can be mistrust. And like I said, I've definitely done it. I've done it in my previous relationships. And there was a sign that like I had mistrust in the other ones. And in this, and the one that I'm with Jesus, obviously we were long distance. So there was one time where we both looked through our phones, but it wasn't like, it was kind of more like in a period where, since we were long distance, we were like, can I really trust you? Like, it seemed like it was too good to be true. Like when I met Jesus, and when we met each other, like we really like loved each other and grew that relationship. So it was like, is it too good to be true? Like, can I actually, like, you know what I mean? So we were like, and so we both were just like in this hesitant space. Like, we're like, okay, here's my phone. Here's this, like, look at whatever, do whatever you want. So we both did that with each other. But technically, like, we knew that we were looking through each other's phone. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it falls within that, but there could, but yeah. So, I mean, I've done it within this relationship, but I don't feel the need to do it besides that one time that we did it, because I don't know, we both have trust in each other and we also respect each other's privacy. But I know that if I ever want to see his phone, like he'll give it to me, or like if he ever wants to see my phone, like I'll give it to him. Or like even when I'm like driving or something, I'm like, here, can you like text my mom? Here, can you text like, can you change the song? Or like, oh, can you read this email? Like it's kind of like that. So yeah,
we do the same thing. Like you know, or she'll ask me, hey, can I see your phone? I'm like, yeah, go for it. And she like looks something up or whatever, or you know, so it's never been like, let me see your phone, let me just double check or anything like that. It's just been, I'm not hiding anything. I don't think you're hiding anything. So whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't care that she grabs my phone. When, you know, if you were to grab my phone out of suspicion, I would want you to like to ask me or talk to me about it, you know? So I think there's no problem in looking through the phone, but if you feel like there is there's something going on or something that your partner's not telling you, you know, I would advise people to communicate that to your partner. You know,
yeah, I agree.
Can I say something that she said? I thought it was so romantic. We were talking about this.
What?
She was like, you know what? We were talking about the phones. When I brought up that question, you remember it right now. She was like, you know what, babe, you have my full permission to go through my phone. I'm never hiding anything. I never will. And I was like, oh my God. If I could cry, I would. I just thought that was so romantic, and no one's ever said that to me, and that means a lot in a relationship. Like, although she didn't have to give me that authorization, right? She could be like, nah, it's my phone, I pay my bill, you don't pay my bills, what you look like going through my phone, you know? But she decided to give me that authorization, and I thought that was so, just that made me trust her even more than I already do, because I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really like that.
Nice.
That's nice.
That's cool because
That's
I know
nice.
a lot of people in other relationships who aren't that it's not that way for them.
Well, and it's also okay if you don't, let's say you're not seeing anybody else, but you also don't want them to see your phone because it's your phone, right? I think that's totally okay too. You paid for it. You're saying you pay the bill, you might be like, ask me first if you want to use my phone, right? Or whatever. And that's totally valid.
I agree.
I think that's also okay. I just kind of said it because we were on the topic of it too. And like, I felt like it was already kind of obvious, but I wanted to make sure that she heard it so that she knew clearly. I don't care if she goes through my phone or if she grabs it for any reason or to do anything with it, I'm okay with it, but everybody has their own preferences.
Yeah, I agree.
Dang, so y'all both have done it. Wow.
Yeah.
I just learned something new today.
You got to do it quick.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to do it when they're in the bathroom or when they're going to be like in the shower.
Wow, look at y'all having these tips.
Yeah. And you got to listen for when the shower water turns off.
Oh my God.
I used to be like hella sneaky. It was bad.
Yeah, I haven't done it that many times, but it's still like I remember this like excitement of like, damn, I can't get caught.
Right.
But
the thrill of it.
Yeah. I feel like people know though. Like if you like look through someone's phone, you can like that wasn't the tab I was on.
Right.
Type of thing. Yeah.
Or like you mad, but then you can't tell them why you're mad because you look through their phone and you can't tell them that you look through their phone, but you mad as fuck at what you saw, but you can't tell them why you're mad.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's hilarious.
The worst. That's why I don't do it anymore. Cause I'm like, you know what? I don't got time to be lying to you about why I'm mad. I was like, nah.
Yeah. Everybody just do what's best for you in your relationship.
Exactly. Yeah. That's like the main message of this whole conversation. I feel like that's what it is.
Okay. So, next question is, what are some non-negotiables / deal breakers in a romantic relationship? So what are they for each of you?
Cheating, physical abuse, emotional abuse, and manipulation. Those are my top 4 non-negotiables. If you do that, I'm out this bitch. Sorry for cursing.
Oh no, that's okay. We swear on this all the time.
All right, cool.
For sure.
Yeah, those are mine too.
Nice.
Oh, and you got to be able to kiss. Sorry.
Can you teach the person that though? Like, can you like practice?
No. Like you're 30 years old already. Like if you don't know how to kiss, sorry.
Oh God. Oh my goodness.
Time to move on.
You can teach. You can learn that. People can teach you that.
Okay. I think I guess for me, pretty simple is no cheating and no like physical abuse. Just no.
Nope. We have a 0 tolerance policy for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Do y'all believe in the honeymoon phase?
Yes.
See,
it exists.
It does.
What is that honeymoon phase? And how long does it last?
I don't know about how long it lasts, but I definitely know that it's just like this period of infatuation that you just want to be with this person for like, you just can't get enough. Like this like very like happy and like butterfly feeling. Like it's really nice and exciting and new, or maybe not new, but exciting and happy. But yeah, that's what it feels like for me. What about y'all?
I do believe in the honeymoon phase. I don't know how long it lasts. I feel it's different for every relationship. Because if y'all relationship only lasts 3 months, then I guess the honeymoon phase is like 2 weeks, right? I don't know. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. 2 weeks.
That's valid.
I feel like it's that phase is a great phase. I feel like, but I also feel like it's a really fake phase in the sense that like you're kind of seeing everything through like rose colored glasses. Is that what it's called? Yeah, like they can do no wrong, right? And then when those glasses come off, you're like, oh damn, did you always do that? Like,
wow,
okay.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like you're like, oh, okay. I mean, it's like it's kind of like what is it, like a tick or something, like an annoyance or something, like in the honeymoon
or like
phase.
a habit you didn't know that they had.
Yeah, or like you thought it was so cute in the beginning, and then you're like, oh shit. Like, what, like for instance, I always got something to say.
Oh God.
I always got something to say back to her, and then like before
That's
she's
true.
like, oh, you always got smart comebacks and blah blah, and now she's like, damn, you could never let me win, huh?
I didn't realize that was a shift. I didn't realize that I did that. My bad.
And I'm like, yeah, you knew this though, but it's different.
Because I was like, wow, you're like so witty and you always come, like you have really good comebacks and like it's so cool, whatever. And I'm like, damn, you always win,
Yeah. That's just
interesting.
That's how our
I never thought
honeymoon
about
phase has shifted. It's still super fun, but it's more
yeah.
like, okay, so
I feel like you don't have to I don't think there's like a clear cutoff. I think the honeymoon phase can last throughout your relationship. I think to me, the honeymoon phase, we have some doggies in the house. The honeymoon phase is the exciting infatuation, like you said, the butterflies. And I think you can still feel those butterflies 10 years down the line. I don't think that I don't even think that should go away. I think you should want to still be with that person and spend time with them. And I don't know. I think I like the honeymoon phase and I value it. I value it a lot. And I feel like it shouldn't just be done after a certain amount of time.
Yeah. I agree in that sense that I don't think that there's at least for me in my relationship, I don't think it stopped. I think it comes in waves. Obviously I'm not going to be infatuated and oh my gosh all the time.
Right.
But it comes and goes, I think, in a relationship. And I think that comes with dating, doing things that still feel like dates, doing things that are still fun and exciting. Right. And I agree with that. At least for me, I don't feel like it's ended, but it definitely comes in waves. And I talked to Jesus about it before we were recording, and he was like, yeah, I think it comes in waves because obviously we're not going to be for a constant period of time, but obviously we still love each other. Right. But when it comes to the honeymoon phase, it comes and goes, I think.
I like how you did that.
It just flows.
It flows through.
Yeah.
It's
true. But I think that
yeah.
foundation should be you should always like the person who you're with. You should always have that love for that person.
Yes.
Even though you may not be super infatuated or want to spend all of your time with them, because that's not really realistic, I think.
I think that's also true love right there, when you know that you can spend time apart and you're always going to come back to each other at some point, right? We used to text all the time in the beginning, all the time. And when I mean all the time, I mean all day, every day. Yeah. And then it was oh, well, I'm going to go to work. And then we wouldn't talk for several hours, or we wouldn't talk until later after work. But, we always came together at the end of the day, and we always talked, asked each other, how was your day? And we shared about our day, and we spent some time together, whether it be through FaceTime or if I would come over, or she would come over. But, it's cool, right? You can spend that time apart, do your own thing, be your own people, live your own lives, but also come together. And I think that's really cool. And I think that's also part of the honeymoon phase, I think, because you're still excited to come together at the end of the day.
Same. Last question. How do you manage conflict within a romantic relationship?
I'm still working on it, but I am not the greatest, to be honest. When I get mad, I get big mad. I feel things so strongly. Sometimes I don't even know what the hell I'm feeling half the time. It just comes in this huge emotion. And I feel sometimes I'll be yo, you're doing this, you're doing that, but I don't say it in a very productive tone. I can be very accusatory. when I say things. So, and then I feel bad, right? And I'm like, fuck. So then I'm all awkward because I feel like, damn, I just hurt your feelings, but you also hurt mine. So where do we go from here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, I kind of feel like it's like, all right, well, damn, I'm hurt all the way around because I hurt you, and then I hurt, and then you hurt me, but I hurt myself. You know, it's like a cycle for me. So
sure.
I'm still trying to work on how to address conflict in my relationship, specifically with Cynthia. But I mean, we don't get in conflicts like that much. It's really just like, okay, you're annoying, you know, or like like you're doing this, you're doing that.
You're annoying.
Oh, you're annoying.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think I've ever told you you're being annoying. I've never said that.
But clearly we're thinking it.
No. That's just an example. I didn't want to say exactly what I've told her. That's just like a very vague example. And I feel like we always move past it, but there's always sometimes, at least for me, you know, I feel like, oh shit, should I be doing more to say I'm sorry? You know, like, is my sorry enough? That's how I feel when it comes to a relationship. Like, okay, I said I'm sorry, but I really want to make sure that my sorry comes with action versus just saying it and then I'm doing the same thing over and over again, because then it's a form of manipulation. And I really don't want to do that in this relationship. So I'm always trying to evaluate, and I still don't know, right? I'm still trying to figure out, like, to make sure that my actions are acting sorry versus just saying sorry and then doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, that's a good reflection. So I know we had the what makes relationships thrive. And my answer to that, now that I'm reflecting, is that it all comes down to how you manage conflict. I think, and from what I've seen and from my experience with my relationship, is how we deal with the conflict that comes with our relationship, because I think it's inevitable. Like, you know, the range of arguments could be a lot, and we've been together for almost 10 years, so we've had arguments. And you know, I'm not afraid to admit that. So I definitely think it has to do how you manage conflict with your partner. And even now, we've changed as people, we've changed in our way of thinking, and we've adapted how we've manage our conflict too. And I think now, because we know each other so well, we know our triggers, and we know like what makes us annoyed of each other. We know like what makes us angry. We try to set those boundaries of like, okay, we're not going to do that when there's a disagreement, because that's just going to fuel the flame of our whatever emotion that we're feeling. So we try to minimize that as much as we can and just focus on what it is that we're arguing about. Like, and usually, at least my shift is, it's like, we like argue about like silly things, like maybe he doesn't pick up his clothes after he like gets out of the shower and leaves them in the bathroom, and I would be like, that is very inconsiderate, because then I have to pick it up. And then at the same time, it's like, it's not a big deal. Like, I shouldn't be this upset over him leaving his clothes there, you know, like that type of thing. So it's also like reflecting on each other and on our actions. So that's just like an example of like an argument that we've had. So yeah, I would say focus on the argument itself. Don't bring up any like things from like the past that y'all have done or like have said to each other and stuff like that, because, you know, that may happen. Like, also like be careful not to cross certain boundaries that you've set for each other, because then that it can be hard to come back from that. So yeah, at least for me personally, we try to focus on the argument and also try to solve whatever is happening, because I think initially when we first started dating, we both are very strong-headed, Jesus and I. We both have our own opinions. We both like to be like heard and understood. And that's one of the things that I like really love about him, is that he has his own thoughts, he has his own way of thinking and his own opinions. And that's what I really love about him, and the fact that he can challenge me, right? So when we argue, it can be a little bit difficult because we both think that we're right. We both have these strong emotions and we both want to be heard. So that's why we try to just stick to whatever it is we're talking about and just that. And we both have our turns to say what we have to say, but looking into it as in like, okay, we're a team and how are we going to resolve this together? Not as in like you versus me type of thing. So that's the way that we've like shifted our way of thinking from like when we very initially started dating. And we've tried to maintain that. Because at the end of the day, like we want to stay together. So like, how are we gonna like make this, how are we gonna grow from the situation? So yeah, I mean, it's a lot easier said than done. But I definitely think that like, and sometimes we just like, sometimes we're like, what the fuck are we arguing about? Like, are we just like bickering about shit? You know, because we've been together for so long that like we just bicker sometimes. And then we just start laughing because it's just like, this is hilarious. So like, I don't know. I think that it's very easy for us to like talk about something and like maybe have like some sort of small argument and quickly get over it because it's just kind of like a bump in the road and then that's it. You know what I mean? So because we've been together for so long, some of these like annoyances or bicker, like things that we bicker about don't really seem like a big deal because, you know, we've been together, we have to eat, like we have to make dinner, we have to like do our chores around the apartment, stuff like that. So I really do think it comes down to how like people and like relationships, like how people manage their conflict. But yeah.
And that shows how much y'all love each other because you're willing to go through that and work something out.
Yeah.
And move forward with it. You know, you could easily just be like, okay, I don't want to be with you. Like, I'm over this, you know? But no, you're like, okay, no, we're going to get through this one way or another.
Yeah.
Because I care about you and I love you and I want to stay with you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But we've never really had any like super huge, like, arguments that like were very foundational to like our relationship. It's just kind of like everyday like things that like just, you know what I mean, like just that kind of thing. But we've definitely had like obviously huge arguments. We've been together for like 8 years obviously, so there have been arguments, but it's figuring out how to work together to come to an understanding and to, like Jasmine said, don't fall into this trap of like maybe doing the same mistakes and just saying sorry and not actually like having actions follow through. And there have been instances in my relationship where either him or me, like, or him or me, him or me, we've talked and like generally had conversations about like, okay, what did I like, generally like, what did I do wrong in this instance? And like, how could I have done better in this argument? Or like, how could, and we've like done that and have been able to like easily like move on through things and like whatever. Cause like, yeah. I hope that makes sense. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. You know, I'm speaking for like my experience in a relationship with two different people, right? An exclusive monogamous relationship. We're two different people with different thoughts, different thought processes. And essentially your thoughts are your interpretation of events, things that happen in your life, right? So we could be having an argument or something could happen and you could perceive it one way and I could perceive it another way, right? And so that's where I feel like the communication is really important because I can't read your mind, you know, I'm gonna need you to tell me how you're perceiving it, how you're feeling, you know, all that kind of stuff so that I can try to understand it a little bit better and we can work through it, you know? So I think it's worth it to hear each other out and communicate, like holding space for that person to tell you what they're feeling in the moment, or, you know, and if you want to talk about it in the moment, right? I think it's also okay to take space and be like, I'm heated right now, I'm feeling angry. Let's take a pause and then let's come back when we're a little bit calmer and talk about it, you know. But I think the communication piece is really important when it comes to conflict because you don't know what that person is, how that person is experiencing whatever conflict you're going through, right? Unless they communicate it to you. So yeah, and I think you're right. I think that's also what helps a relationship, you know, sustain itself for X amount of time is how you handle that conflict and keep moving forward. So
Yeah.
We talked about a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is super interesting and it's so relatable to life.
Yeah. We got deep.
And we got deep. We got some juicy questions.
It's deep.
Oh, sorry. Deep.
Yeah, I feel like we could talk way more about this topic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Keep going, but
oh yeah, we can get deeper.
It has to end.
We've been at this for a little while, so whoever stayed with us this entire time, thank you for listening. We hope you were able to take something out of this. If you did, we encourage you to apply it in one way or another to your life, whatever that looks like for you and your relationships. So yeah, and thank you for taking some time and joining us.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. It was nice.
Thank you and y'all can erase this if this is inappropriate. Thank you for popping my podcast cherry.
I don't think it's inappropriate.
You're good. Your first podcast.
Yeah. We're excited. We're excited to have you back. Hopefully in the future, maybe we can talk more about this topic or other topics. I think it's really, really good. There was a specific thing that I wanted to talk about that we didn't talk about.
Well, I always have a lot to say, so
we can push it to the next one.
Yeah.
So I'll have you back if you're willing to come back.
Okay, if you have me.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm excited. We'll have you back for sure.
Yay.
Yep. I know you don't have Facebook, or no, you don't have Instagram, but if you're comfortable with us tagging you on Facebook, we'll do that.
Follow me. I don't know if people can follow me. I don't know. Friend request me. Jasmine Melo Salas. I would love to be your friend. Get to know you. Let's chat it up.
Sure.
Chat it up.
Chat it up.
Okay, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. This was cool. I enjoyed it. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it.
Yep. We'd be interested to know how many of y'all are in relationships.
Yeah.
Let us know if this was helpful, not helpful, maybe to the single people. Let us know if it was helpful or not. Let us know if you've looked at your partner's phones ever before. Let us know. We're excited to hear what you have to say.
Yep.
And as a super fan, please like, comment, and rate this podcast. I really enjoy this podcast.
Thank you.
I am biased, but I wasn't biased when I first listened to it. So y'all know it was real from the start. So please like, comment, rate, subscribe to Awkwardly Random, because they are awkward, but they are awesome.
Oh,
thank you.
We haven't had a guest say that.
I know, right? Wow, it should be a requirement now.
I know. We're gonna require. That's
I'm setting the standard. So
everyone else,
sorry, not sorry.
Hashtag goals.
Hashtag guest goals. Yeah, guest goals.
Set the standard.
For real.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
That's funny. But yes, definitely like and subscribe, follow, DM us, all that. We'd like to engage with y'all. So
where can they find you?
You can find us on YouTube, obviously. If you're watching the video, you already know you can find us here. You can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, and on
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and any other podcast platforms. Yeah,
that's correct. Yay. All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you at the next one.
Bye.
Bye.